No, now I can't hear you. Still can't hear you. But maybe that's on my end. Hold on. No. All right. Hey, there you go. I think. Say something? Nope, still don't hear you. Nope, I was wrong.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
There you go. Hello.
Hey, can you hear us now?
I sure can.
Okay, great. Yeah, sorry about that little mess. We got
That's fine.
computer crashed on me, so we switched over to the other one.
No worries.
So we get to look at our mugs.
He gets to look at yours at least. He doesn't get to see mine anymore.
Yeah. Maybe I'll.
So I don't have to look at anybody's mug if I
There we go.
want you to.
I threw a piece of tape over my.
Well, if we're not, I'm just looking at like if I'm looking at Twitter and different things, I can't see anybody anyway, right? I was hoping nobody's staring at me.
Well, you can turn off your camera if you want to.
Okay.
Can
So
you
how do
just
I-
turn off the camera, or?
Yeah, there should be a little thing. Yeah, that little top black bar as you hover over the window.
Hey, all right. That's what I'm talking about.
Good old black screen.
Yeah.
Which one is it, Nick? Oh, turn the camera off right there.
Yeah. Yeah. So where were we before the great computer crash of 2016?
I was saying something about the Ducks fans and the Sharks fans and the Kings fans all hating each other.
Okay.
Hey, we've got another visitor.
What's going on, Bill Day?
Hey,
Not a
Bill, how's it
lot.
going?
Going well. How's everyone doing?
Good.
Doing good. Just recovered from a computer mix-up here, so we're just getting back on track.
All right.
Hey, Bill, have you met Jesse Cohen before?
We have not.
Hey, Bill, this is Jesse Cohen. Jesse the Bill. Bill's got a podcast, Let's Go Blues in St. Louis here, obviously.
Oh, right on.
A nice, real good podcast. And hey, Bill, Jesse's got All the King's Men. Does a little work for LA Kings podcast.
Very nice. I've reputation precedes you from the shout-outs you get on Puck Daddy.
Oh, well, thank you. Wow. Thank you very much. I didn't realize I got that many shout-outs from them.
And
Well, enough that I recognized it. So.
All right, good enough.
I was super impressed with the. Let's see now. I think the Kings retweeted something. I guess your podcast.
I saw that. Yeah, the official Kings account tweeted that out.
74,000 people got it. So I wanted to ask you now, when you get 174,000 people.
No, it was 700,000.
No, I keep saying 107. I'm like cheating. I'm cheating you.
You're
It
cheating
was
them
close
off.
to 1 million people. I'll say 750,000. That sounds pretty good. So you get 750,000 people that get the tweet that says, "Hey, you should listen to this podcast." So how many followers? What kind of bump do you get from something like that with your followers
Wait, say what now?
on Twitter? Did it make any sense? Sorry.
No,
So
I didn't even realize there. Hold on, let me find the tweet.
I think it was a day or two ago. Yeah, the official LA Kings account tweeted out, check out this podcast by @AllTheKingsMen.
Well, they certainly should, since I'm the official podcast of the Los Angeles.
Right. It's like I'm hoping.
Yeah, you're
they're
not
giving
supposed
you
to
some
sound
attention
shocked
there.
here. You're supposed to go. You're supposed to just say, "Yep, that's me."
No, it is. I'm shocked to hear it was that many people. Hold on, let me find.
Yeah, well, hopefully you got some. You got something back from all of that.
Turns out no.
No.
Not as much as you think. It's a small. I mean, the problem is that not a ton of people in Southern California like hockey, and even smaller percentage of them like podcasts. So there is certainly a bump that I receive from tweets like that, but it is nowhere near correlative to the number of retweets that those promotional tweets get. But now I'm trying to find the one you're specifically talking about. Was it really 700,000 or something like that?
I think that's how many followers the Kings account had.
750,000.
Oh, of their account.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Yeah. No, I don't see anywhere near that kind of.
Okay. No, we were saying that your tweet got 700,000 retweets. What we were trying to tell you.
That's crazy.
I think that broke some records.
Now that's not true.
No.
Now Nick's pulling your strings. I was excited for you either way. It just sounded like that was that all that could add up to is more exposure, which hopefully adds up to some better things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean the thing to consider is that a lot of the people who follow that account are out of town, right? They're not Kings fans. They're I don't know if you guys follow the Kings, but certainly tons of people. I have a lot of friends who follow other teams' accounts, just for trolling purposes more than anything.
Well, that's true.
So yeah, I do definitely get a boost when they promote the podcast, but I don't get 700,000 downloads an episode, unfortunately.
Okay.
Well, Nick, are we going to start recording again, or how do you want to do that?
Yeah, I've got that. It's recording over there now.
Oh, okay.
So this is essentially the show. So.
Did you want to throw out one of your first questions to the group here?
Sure. So, I guess this is more towards Bill David. We'll definitely take your input on this, Jesse.
Hold on a second. I gotta get the sound on here.
Who's this here?
Oh, that is too cool. I'm getting my mask.
1 second.
I'm going to get my mask. Hold on.
Who do we got? I can't see.
Okay, anybody that plays hockey, get your equipment on now.
We'll take a brief break for this to everybody get their hockey.
I'm just going to put my jock on just in case this gets rough.
Hold on. You gotta get this all situated.
Alright, so we've got this guy. He just came on here. He's in his full goalie gear. Would you introduce yourself, please?
I don't think he can hear you.
Audio issues.
Give him 1 second here. I'm loving it though.
There we go.
There's another one. You have to turn your camera back on.
My camera's on?
Did you turn it off? Oh, it's on.
All right, now I can hear you guys.
I like those cat eyes.
Yeah, buddy.
I still put my glasses on?
You put the glasses on over the goalie mask.
I'm trying. All right.
This is normal, right?
Oh man, I like the. I want to see how he's got it tied off. Dongle.
Oh yeah. This is the through there. I got through the right here.
All right.
Those goalies are weird. What's up?
Hey, just real quick, can you? This is horrible. Executed, just did not work out. But can anybody guess what famous painting this is?
Starry Night.
All right.
Jesse Cohen just nailed that one.
And why
It's
would
like I'm a patron of the arts.
He is. Now, why would a goalie have Starry Night? I don't. What's the connection here?
Because
Concussions, maybe?
Oh, that was good.
cut your ear off to make the helmet fit better. I don't know.
So where did Vincent paint this one?
At a hockey rink?
No,
Where?
he was looking out the window of an insanitarium
Is that right?
when he painted this one.
Huh.
So they say goalies are insane. That was the thought.
Bit of a stretch.
But goalies get it.
What goalies get it? Because they're all insane, but...
I think goalies are more into cubism than impressionism, though.
Oh my gosh! And this is a podcast. And how many people just saw what we were doing? Nobody, right?
Nobody. This is an audio podcast. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys.
Okay, Nick. Let's hit it. Throw out that
let's go
first
ahead.
question.
Let's jump right in here. This is the Toast Dispatch Radio Super Mega Podcast. We have with us Jesse Cohen from All the Kings Men, the official podcast of the LA Kings. We have Bill Day Jr. from Let's Go Blues Radio, and we have an unnamed as of yet goalie that just jumped on the show. Introduce yourself, please.
I am Brendan Sheridan from Capitol Hill.
Brendan Sheridan from Capitol Hill. There we go. So
Hey!
we've got all three of
Brendan,
them on
you
here.
didn't know that?
No, I couldn't see it. I don't have a Google Hangouts page on my computer, so I'd like to welcome all you guys onto the show here.
I had to step and repeat and everything. I know the people that are listening to this can't see that. If I can interrupt you real quick, I just want to show you what I did here. I did a step and repeat with a blanket, and behind this blanket is actually my goalie bag. So you can see that, and I have sticks hanging up. Like I have this whole thing produced for you guys. I just want to mention that.
You just forgot to shave. That was the only thing.
Charity.
the playoff beard.
Without the charity, you know.
Okay.
Doing a charity beard. Sorry, go on.
Are the Capitals doing that too? The playoff beards for charity?
Yeah, the Capital side is doing it for to raise money for the USA Warriors hockey team.
So we're just getting all set up here for Game 4, Blues versus Blackhawks, and we're going to talk a little bit about all the playoff series around the league too and what you guys are doing. But Blues are coming into this. They haven't lost at United Center all year between regular season and the playoffs. But one question that I saw getting tossed around online was, for your fourth line, Steve Ott recently came back, but who do you pick, Steve Ott or Ryan Reeves? Because Hitch likes to swap the two out. Who do you take on your fourth line?
Well, I think obviously Hitch is a guy that goes with what works, and what worked last game was Steve Ott. You know, his first shift, he was doing his best to get under the skin of the Hawks. Ryan Reeves seemed like he was about to go over the edge, and if Mashinter's not going to be in the lineup, who's Reeves going to fight? Why do you need him in the lineup? So, not a huge Steve Ott fan myself, but I think he's the guy that's, until he takes a really stupid penalty, he's going to be the guy.
Mm-hmm. If you go to our lineup generator on our website, actually, it's in full playoff mode right now, and it would agree with you.
So Steve Ott is the first line?
He's
center,
all
left
four
wing, right
lines.
wing?
He's all four lines.
It's an inside Blues joke.
But so Steve Ott's the entire lineup tonight, according to the generator.
What was that big question you had so the whole group can
No,
jump in
we
there?
got some. Which one was that?
Well, you had a
Got
couple,
the
and there's some
expansion?
things you mentioned today you were telling me about that you were coming across on Twitter, some things going on. How about the expansion?
Well, yeah, it
I know
sounds
it's the
like
playoffs, but we
the
could look to the future for a second.
sounds like Las Vegas is going to get their expansion team in the next year or two. And so that's what are your guys' thoughts on hockey in Vegas?
I'll jump in first if you guys don't mind, since it's closest to my backyard. This is Jesse Cohen, all the King's Men. It's going to be, from a purely selfish standpoint, it's going to be fun because I expect tickets to be relatively inexpensive. Las Vegas is a 45-minute flight from my local airport, which is like a 20-minute drive from my home, so I can watch the Kings in yet another arena now if I wanted to. I can watch them in San Jose, I can watch them in Anaheim, I can watch them in Phoenix, and now I can watch them in Vegas. So that's great. They shouldn't be competitive too soon, so that's another team in the Pacific Division that I don't have to worry about. But generally speaking, I think I'd rather see them in a different market, personally.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how to feel about Vegas.
It just doesn't. No other major sports franchise has came into it and succeeded yet, so I've got my doubts.
Yeah, I'm here. Just I hate to interrupt, but I'm hearing an echo coming off of somebody. I don't know.
Yeah, Nick.
I think Brendan, do you have a loudspeaker on right now?
I actually do. I apologize.
You know,
If you could turn it off, that'd be great.
Oh, Brendan, trying to sabotage.
Well, you know, the headset or the goalie mask, I unfortunately chose goalie
It
mask.
was one or the other.
Yeah. Let me pop these on.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, I think that as far as the question about Vegas, it's too risky. It's for the NHL. It's surprising that they're making that leap. For a league that historically hasn't taken huge risks, but they're really looking at this. Hopefully, they're looking beyond the expansion fee, which is going to net the owners some nice cash. But
and it's not hockey-related revenue either.
you're right. So it all stays in the owner's pockets, and yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's a true long-term viable hockey market. They've had how many teams and how many leagues turn over, between the ECHL, the IHL, I think they have an AHL team for a while. Did they even get one of those? But I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out. I don't expect it to work, though.
So would you say that the NHL moving to Vegas is a little bit of a gamble, maybe? Maybe a little bit?
But I'm bummed.
Come on.
It actually took me a second to get that.
So with the expansion team, we can expect an expansion draft to come along with it, likely. And so I was curious to see who you guys would all protect off of your teams in the event of an expansion draft. Now, in case you don't know, the rules for this is that each team will lose one player from the draft. Each team the expansion team can draft one player from each team. And each team can protect 7 forwards, 3 defensemen, and 1 goalie, or 8 forwards and 1 goalie.
I was actually asked to submit a list like this to a blog that operates out of Las Vegas. They're very excited to get a team. Sinbin, I think they're called on Twitter.
Yeah, I've seen them.
So again, if you guys don't mind, I'll jump ahead. It's a blessing for the Kings, because we are a cap space strapped team. So to have the opportunity to lose potentially a high contract guy in an expansion draft, it's great. So I would protect Quick, Doughty, Muzzin, and Martinez on defense, and then what do I get? 7 forwards?
Yeah, 7 forwards then.
So then I would protect Kopitar, Gaborik, Pearson, Carter, Toffoli. That's 5. I'm torn on whether or not I should protect Lucic, because I don't know if he'd come back. And as much as I enjoy watching him, and I'm thrilled with him scoring 20 goals, I'm not sure that he fits the Kings system really fantastically. So I might be compelled to leave him unprotected. So I'm going to say Lewis and what the heck? I'll say Lucic.
Okay. And so for the bonus question now, if you could, who do you want to get drafted off your team? If you could pick one guy to get off, the scapegoat or something, maybe.
Oh, I can't answer that question. all the players on my team are fantastic contributors who bring something different and special in their own unique way.
Okay. Put it that way. What about you, Brendan? What would you pick for your to protect in your expansion draft?
So are we going with 8 forwards and then 1 goalie, or?
Whichever one you want. You can go 7 forwards, 3D, and 1 goalie, or 8 forwards and 1 goalie. Okay.
And is there a rule on LTIR exclusions or anything?
That's a good question.
Because what I think some of these teams are going to be doing is these guys are going to have some mysterious injuries that end up happening. So they, depending on any type of loopholes that come out of it, I would think. Well, I'm playing a devil's advocate, kind of I want to protect as many people as I want to protect. But if that ends up expanding the amount of people that get amnesty, essentially, or protection.
Sure. But the other thing I forgot to mention real quick is that players that have played in their first or second year are automatically protected. So first and second year rookies cannot be drafted in the expansion draft.
If I can jump in real quick, I also think players with no movement clauses are exempt.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So the filter kind of narrows itself down pretty well off the bat, which is, I think, perfect. If I were to go the 7-3-1 route, I would do, of course, Ovi, Backstrom, Oshie, Johansson. Gotta keep Williams. I'm sorry, all Kings men.
Yeah.
I would say. Okay, so I'm up to 6. Of course, Kuznetsov. Burakovsky he's on an ELC, so he would probably be protected. Sorry, I dive really deep into this type of stuff, so I take a little bit while. So Niskanen. So on the 3D, I would say Niskanen. Orpik is getting to the as value as valuable as a bag of pucks, so I'll feed him to the wolves. Hate to say that. Too soon type stuff. Yeah, too soon type of stuff after he probably suffered a really bad concussion last night. But yeah, if I were to feed him to the wolves, he would be one. He has what I see here. He has until contract until 2019, so he's probably going to be a prime target that the Caps will probably end up kind of moving for this. So I know I'm kind of beating around the bush, but I would say 3 top D would be Niskanen, Carlson, and Alzner. I think are going to be protected. Of course, you got to protect Holtby. Grubauer, he's only been in 10 games, I think, this season. He's a great backup, but Holtby is, I think, kind of mentioned this a few weeks back. He's like a blue-collar goalie. He wants to play all the games. Kind of selfish that way, and I don't mind because he's definitely had a hell of a season.
He's a workhorse.
Yep. Now, if I can interject real quick and kind of rewind to my thought on Vegas, I saw the arena. It looks beautiful, but I think if the XFL can't survive, the NHL can't survive.
If they can.
In all seriousness, I think Las Vegas is the most transient town, and it's a town that doesn't have money at its core. And what I mean by that is like the local demographic. I don't think has enough money and enough presence to really support a professional team. I'm probably going to get shot for saying that, but I think, a Seattle would have been better than a Las Vegas, right? And
I would have loved Seattle or Kansas City, something like that.
They already have an infrastructure for that. They already have a downtown scene. They already have
they got Sprint Arena, I think.
Yep. They're trying to bring that to Super
I think it'd be naive, too, not to think that the proximity of a professional team in Sin City doesn't have its own inherent issues, possibly. That there's a reason you don't usually build a church right next to brothel.
Right.
I mean, they just don't. They don't
Mike
happen.
Richards is going to be the first captain of the team, right?
Oh boy.
I don't know. That's my thought on it is that that's an issue that inherently. I mean, besides the economics and the demographics and everything else as to why there's no professional teams there, I just always initially thought that it was because of all the gambling capital of the world, or at least the United States.
I think the internet mitigates a lot of that concern because you can gamble so easily now. You almost don't need the physical location. My curiosity about the market, and I confess I don't know anything about Vegas, but certainly in LA, so many of the ticket sales rely on corporate partners to buy up the tickets, and you always hear that a city needs a good corporate base. I would have to imagine most of the quote-unquote corporate base in Vegas would be competing casinos, and I don't know if like Circus is going to buy a suite to the Las Vegas team games. I don't know that they would want to promote someone that's in direct competition with them. Whereas if you're in LA and you have a bank or a law firm or a recording studio or an agency, you'd 100% buy a suite at Staples Center because you can take clients or give tickets away to Lakers, Clippers, concerts, etc. But again, if you're a competing business in Las Vegas, you're desperately, I would think, trying not to drive people to an arena that you don't control.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I'd be curious to see how that plays out.
And I think from a personal management and risk mitigation perspective, if we're going to get legal or touch our toe in the legal water of having a guy like, I don't know, just like a rookie coming straight up. He's 18, 19, 20-year-old.
Right.
And even up toward, even up to a 29, 30-year-old that's a bachelor, and just having, I guess there's inherent risk in every town. There's a strip club in every town, right? And whatever, these guys could be hanging out there. I think Vegas really accelerates kind of a really bad availability for these guys to just go off the deep end really quickly.
There's a strip club in every.
Go ahead.
So there's a strip club in every town, but I'm not sure that there's a strip club in the lobby of every building.
Yeah.
I feel like you're going to hear so much more. You hear these storylines come out now to get us like, oh, Evander Kane's a partier, and oh, Patrick Kane's a partier, and you're going to hear so much more of that for like every player on the team, whoever plays in Vegas. Like, oh, everybody on the team's a part here.
Imagine if your team has to go play a first-round playoff series against, like, let's say the Kings play Vegas in the first round of the playoffs, and for whatever reason the Kings are up 2-0 or even down 2-0, and now you have 4 days in Vegas.
Well,
Like,
to add to this, I mean, if all this goes down, there's a good chance that Manziel might land with the Phoenix team.
He's going to be he'll be the captain of the Las Vegas Black Knights.
No, but Johnny Football could make a change. He's such an athlete. Star center. I mean, I could see it happening.
Maybe he'll just be a trainer on the team. He'll work his way in there somewhere.
There you go.
Hey, Nick, we were going to interject some little bits in here, some little Toasted Batch humor, and but it's somewhat serious at the same time. So
before you say that real quick, I meant to say at the start of the show, since there's all these, we do have 5 people on right now. We got 4 or 5 people, so
we need to stay
we need
organized,
everybody to avoid just all the confusion and stuff that I think can happen. Everybody just talk at once. Talk over each other. Interrupt.
No, that's not what you're supposed to say.
Keep talking, and don't stop talking.
No. What he was supposed to say is you're supposed to raise your hand, and preferably your right hand. So we know it's the truth.
No, we're kidding.
So I want to see. Can you guys do next guy that talks? Will you raise your hand?
We're doing auction paddles next if this doesn't work.
Okay. Well, we're gonna go right into this next question, and this is for Capitol Hills. Okay.
All right.
Is it Capitol Hills or Capitol Hill?
It's Capitol's Hill, just like it's Japers Rink, not Jasper's Rink.
We're back on that again.
Yeah,
All right.
I had to bring it up.
Now, just here at the Toast Dispatch podcast / radio show, we like to keep things, we want to make our guests feel comfortable first of all, and here we're at Google hanging out. We're hanging out with our buds. So with that in mind, Capitol Hill, you ready for your first question?
Sure.
Because we wanted people to get to know you better too here in St. Louis and around the country.
Okay.
So, Mr. Capitol, are you now, or have you ever been, a card-carrying member of the Communist Party? Your reply, sir.
No.
No?
I do belong to Sam's Club. Card carry member or something.
Right.
That's a capitalist society. Yeah, that's not communist, so I'm good.
It's capitalist, so you're anti-communist then.
Yeah.
All right, well, okay. Well, I mean, I figured you were okay, but we
I'll
always
buy
have
that.
to ask that just to make sure and make you feel comfortable.
I appreciate it.
Nothing lets people just get down and comfortable like asking if they're a card-carrying communist. Nothing breaks the ice quite like that.
And plus, you have the preface in there. Have been or now. Have you ever been or now a carrying member? Because if you were at one time, you still have to tell us. Early on, like in your Boy Scout days.
Your Boy Scout. You're getting less laughs as this goes on. I think you should switch topics here.
Yes.
I'm pretty close to DC, and I'm probably already on a list, so I'm probably on another list as we speak.
Yeah, we're just gonna keep ramping this up. If you're arrested by the end of the night, it's not our fault.
Okay.
It is, but it's not.
Hey, a quick story, real quick. A little blues history for you guys that aren't from St. Louis. Do either one of you know who the Plager brothers were? And there were really 3 of them at one time in the blues team.
Can't say I do.
Okay, in the early years, they were the big 3: Bobby Plager, Barkley Plager, and Billy Plager. And they had the big hip check. If you might think of that. He was one of those guys, when you watch the old films, he'd throw that hip check out there, and some guy would go flying over the glass. Well, I thought this was a neat story. Back in '72, before they were the Broad Street Bullies, the St. Louis Blues were in Philadelphia, and a big brawl broke out. And what happened was that one of our players, Bobby Plager, let me back up. Al Arbor got hit the coach of the Blues got hit in the head by a beer bottle or bottle of beer or something, and he goes up into the stands. Bobby Plager does, after this fan that had thrown the beer, and then the rest of the Blues follow him up there, and there's a big melee in the stands, and half the team got arrested that night. But Bobby Plager, who jumped in first, hid. And the funny thing is that and I got to talk to him about this. He told me the story is that he about 20 years later was in Philadelphia for a game, and the police came in and arrested him in the booth as a joke. They took him out to dinner, but they arrested him officially because he had gotten away that night. I thought that was kind of a cool story. Not that I told it too well, but 25 years later or whatever, they arrest him and take him away. He got a big kick out of it. I thought that was
What
kind
do I
of
have to do to get Terry Yake arrested?
for his crime. Game
Yeah.
4.
For the Game 4 crime,
No,
yeah.
Game 3 in LA. In the 4-3 debacle. No, 5-3. 5-4.
4-3.
4-3.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, you could do that. We'll try to arrange it.
Perfect.
We'll
You
make
can
a
always try
citizen's
to set
arrest
up
and
Jerry
send him out
here.
there and UPS him next day air.
So all this talk about having him on your show is really just a trap to get him arrested.
Exactly. That's right. Fly him out.
All right, my attempt at telling a lame story went south pretty quick. Nick,
Backfired.
you pick the show back up quick.
The show, let's see. So what's everybody's feeling about their playoff series? We've got Capitals Hill here. We've got all the Kings men. How are your teams going to come out of the series?
I'm sure Capitals Hill feels a lot better about their series than I do about mine.
Up three doesn't mean anything. I mean, look, last year, Caps were up 3-1, ended up losing Game 7 in overtime against the Rangers.
And you still got to get out of Philly
Montreal
alive,
as well.
right?
Yeah, even if you win the game, you still got to get the flight back home.
Philadelphia looks brutal.
Oh, it's horrible.
Yeah.
Are we going to break into that as another topic tonight?
Yes,
'Cause I-
for sure. We'll move on to that.
Awesome.
I want to hear your thoughts
Let's
on
hear
that.
from Jesse real quick,
Yeah,
then what he feels
Jesse
about
first, then.
the Kings.
Absolutely. Yep.
Down 2-1.
I am encouraged and optimistic, but I am not confident. How about that?
Okay.
All right.
That's such an odd series from the perspective of the Sharks are such a dominant road team and can't win at home. So it's like the Kings really may have drawn the short end of the short straw, having home ice advantage in that series. It's crazy.
I mean, well, so the funny thing is the way I'm looking at it now is if they can just win all of the games in San Jose, they only have to win one game at home.
There you go. So that dreaded home ice game.
Yeah, which is sort of, as you say, it's sort of backwards. But I said earlier that my theory is that the Sharks hate their own fans, and that's why they play better on the road.
Hey, what are they saying in San Jose or LA about why it is? What is San Jose themselves saying about why they're so great on the road this year, even in the playoffs too?
I don't know. I'm guessing they would just say it's because they're great in general. That's what they like to say.
That's
about
the San Jose
themselves.
approach.
Yeah, but no, I don't know. I don't think anybody really understands it, frankly. It's just one of those wacky things that happens.
Anomaly.
So, Brendan, how are you guys feeling about your playoff series? Jubilant?
I have a Ferrari parked in the driveway, but can't drive it.
Okay.
Don't know if it drives yet or not.
Right.
So, horrible analogy. I'll move on. I feel not as excited as someone else in another team would feel if they had this waiting for them. Up 3 games, like I said, the ability to sweep tomorrow. It's great, but us DC sports fans are a miserable bunch. Disappointment city. Every single sport that comes our way, every single playoffs that comes our way, it has to be with baseball. I see that grin.
I've just got 2 words for you.
We took LA out too.
Pete Cosma.
Yeah. We talked about that. You played the sound clip. Yeah.
Both of you guys have been crushed. Both of you guys have been crushed by the Cardinals.
Yeah. So, it's tempered optimism is really kind of the feeling right now for me. Last night, honestly, I got to a savage level with people on Twitter. When Novi scored the second goal, I tweeted something out to the effect of, there's the second moment of silence in Philly. And I honestly thought I was going to get a knock on my door from a Philly fan. It only takes 2 hours to get here from Philly, so
sure.
I thought something was going to happen. But
I got to say this real quick, Brendan. For a fact, when we were a little more snarky with the Toast Dispatch in our early days, I I did. I would hear noises at night, and I would, through my mind, I'd be like, "Oh, just tell me somebody's not trying to break in because of what I said." Just tell me. But in my mind, you got 3 kids, a wife, and I'm like, "Duh." It'd wake me up. I'd be like looking out the window. Where are they?
I take it back. I take it back.
It wasn't even funny anyway.
Right.
So if you're half kidding, I'm like half serious.
Well, yeah, I started to think, because when you register a website, you have to put all your actual real info in there, and someone could actually do like a what is it, like a
database?
Who is database, right? And I'm like, oh crap, did I pay for that security thing per month? Did I spend $20? And my mind just trailed off on that. I'm like, oh shit,
What really ticks me off, because why do I have to pay extra so people don't know who I am in the Who Is database?
Right.
Someone really, I'm sure GoDaddy loved that idea when they came up with it.
If we somehow catch word of you get knocked off, believe me, we'll be the ones to, we'll call the police and say, hey, look, we think we know what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. You see, I'm
that
building.
Philly joke.
I'm helping myself out.
Yeah.
So what's everybody's thoughts on the? Basically, it was, I didn't catch all of it, but it was kind of a really bad showing in Philadelphia for the fans. I think they threw some stuff onto the ice. There was the hit on who was the dirty hit on?
Yeah, so kind of preferencing the whole events. It was for Ed Snyder. It was a tribute pregame. They have these LED wristbands that they were giving out to everyone in attendance. They did that tonight up at MSG in New York City, and everyone flipped. They thought, oh, it's going to be Philly Part 2, but they had these LED wristbands. Ed Snyder tribute beforehand. It was great, even though there was a few people that were yelling out the F-bomb during the moment of silence.
It is Philadelphia.
It is Philadelphia, and but there's a certain amount of I can't even think of the word, but there's this to be like a normal person, a normal human being, then you cross over to that line of just idiocy, right?
Yeah.
So they had the wristbands. Period 3 comes. You have a really bad hit on Orpik from, can't even remember who it is. I think White. Mm-hmm. But what really set off the whole melee and things being thrown onto the ice was Bellemare ran and wholly pushed Orlov into the boards. His head accordion into his neck, into his body, and everyone's like, "Oh my God!" That's the last thing we need is Orlov. They actually didn't say the same thing for Orpik when he got knocked out, so I felt kind of bad about that. It was a clean hit on Orpik, but the Bellemare hit was absolutely dirty.
I was amazed he only got a 1-game suspension for that.
Yeah, well, that's probably all that they need.
True. So like, no point. They're out in the next game anyway.
Right. So then, all the fans, I think got boosted up about that, but then they got pissed off that people were getting thrown out of the game, and the Caps ended up just opening up the floodgates. They would throw things on the ice. They got warnings, and then they threw it again. They threw more wristbands on the ice, and they got the game misconduct or delay of game penalty.
I'd love. I think I like the first one better. Give all the fans a game misconduct. Everybody gets ejected. Send them all to the sin bin.
Yeah.
They're all out the game. Wouldn't it be great? Yeah, empty them all out.
But it was great. I was listening to Philly sports radio. I just wanted to hear people crying about the loss. So I was like, let's just tune in to Philly sports radio, and it was actually really enlightening because the sports radio guys were saying how much of a disgrace it was to Philly, and how they're actually distinct. They had callers, and the callers were like, well, when a hat trick happens, we're able to throw stuff in the ice, but we can't throw stuff in the ice. I was like, you're rationalizing pegging hockey players with things with batteries. Like, we don't give things with batteries to Philly fans.
It's not going to go well.
Never goes well.
There was a great shot of Simmons and Ovechkin at center ice about to take the face off, and they both stand up and throw their hands up and look to the crowd, and they're yelling just like, "Stop!"
Right.
Stop!
Knock it off already.
Yeah, I mean it's.
If Simmons is telling you to stop, that is something.
We'll have another brawl in the stands. Simmons will go up there and finish him off.
So that game's tomorrow night against Philly?
Yep.
In-
Game 4 in
Philadelphia.
Philly. Yep.
And I think you guys are the only team left in the playoffs currently that can sweep in the first round, right?
That's correct. Yeah. I need to check in on the scores of everything else.
Hey, you guys, I want to ask Bill, Nick, we got to ask Bill something here. He's been nice enough to come
Yeah,
on the
we gotta
show.
get
and
Bill back going here.
We're talking about everybody else,
All right.
but our in-town guest. Well, let me think then. I don't know if you can answer this question or not, but, well, darn it, it's another question you could ask. What's something? Bill, you're going to have to ask your own question.
Ask it and answer it.
You can ask it and then answer it.
Um,
Why am I here?
yeah, that came to mind actually.
Get
Yeah.
existential here.
Yeah.
Okay, well, just tell us this then. What's your feelings about tonight's game? Because, hey, it's coming up quick. 25 minutes.
It's coming up. Cautiously optimistic.
All right.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's total blowout for Chicago, or if the Blues win by 1 again. I will tell you, I really can't believe that the Blues picked the slogan for the playoffs, 1 goal.
Oh gosh, that's horrible. I forgot.
Oh wow.
We all know what it's supposed to be, but
That's
with
funny.
this team,
Yeah.
come on. Come on, we were on an offensive roll, and so let's say 1 goal.
Why can't it be like 5 goals?
No, I am cautiously optimistic tonight, but I do expect this game to go beyond, or this series to go beyond 5 games. It's as much as we would all love to come back home up 3-1. I don't know. It's gonna be tough, and we'll see how the bounces go, because really that's what this series has come down to so far. I mean, if Ladd doesn't hit both posts, in the third period the other day, that the Hawks win that game. So.
That was my take early on, is that the bounces would come into play when two teams are more or less evenly matched. The bounces, and I felt like it came down to Elliott versus Crawford. And right now, per wins and losses, Elliott's in the lead. He's up 2-1, and I believe he has outperformed Crawford for sure. So
Yeah.
that's what I see as a key.
Yeah, certainly the Crawford, the goal that Berglund scored, when I thought it was just a simple wrist shot that Crawford missed, but on the
Right.
replay, it was a bad hop off of Roosevelt's leg and off the ice, so not a whole lot he could do. But I'm hoping that got to him a little bit. But it's going to come down to the bounces, and can the Blues stay out of the penalty box enough tonight?
Jesse, did you see that? Did you happen to see by any chance the bounce that Crawford got off that game on Sunday with any replays from off Berglund's stick?
I did not. No, I was.
Well, if you haven't, just think of this, and you might remember this. You got a good memory. I'm thinking Brodeur in the net last year. One of his last appearances, might have been his last game that he played in the NHL. One of his either last or second to last. And he remember that crazy bounce. You guys went up like 4-1. We were playing in LA.
Yeah.
You remember that? Wasn't that crazy?
It was a Kopitar shot from the blue line, hop, skipped, and jumped over Brodeur's pad.
Yeah.
It's like, it's one of those, like, as a goalie, you look at the goalies of what they do. Like Steve Mason did the same thing with a Chimera deflection from mid ice, right? I don't know if you guys saw that, but it was a great dip out there. It was an amazing dip out there, actually.
Yeah, my favorite part was the box score. Tipping from 128 feet.
Right.
Yeah.
When I saw the replay of that goal against Mason, my mind just fixed it so that I was watching the Flyers score on the Capitals, because I couldn't imagine the Flyers scoring on the Capitals any other way. And I already knew the score, so I thought, oh, that must be the Flyers' 1 goal. But no, it turns out wrong. Before we move on, I want to back up real quick, if I could, to the Philadelphia wristbands thing. Because 2 years ago, a blogger named Rudy Kelly wrote a eulogy for Puck Daddy for the Philadelphia Flyers, and if I could, I'd just like to read an excerpt because if it perfectly sums up to me my impression on the West Coast of Flyers fans. And there's no profanity in it, but it is brutal and savage in a way that I wish I could be as a writer. So I'm just going to read two paragraphs of it.
I'm excited now.
This is a eulogy of the Flyers from 2014, but I think it applies to this day. Your city has been brainwashed by my city. Sorry to say, but Rocky isn't real. You are Rocky, a loser who has never won anything, and we are Apollo. Rocky doesn't get a moral victory in real life, though. In real life, Rocky goes home and lives in a crummy apartment, and Apollo goes back to his mansion and never gives that ugly Italian guy who got lucky a second thought. Apollo fights some other twerp and beats him up. Rocky dies of syphilis. I wish I could have sympathy for you, I really do, but let's face it, you are bad people, and you don't deserve sympathy. Your city is shrinking. And you, like an alligator protecting a drying watering hole, are getting more and more disgusting and ugly. The rest of the league doesn't want you around, and we won't miss you when you eventually move your team in 2050 to an important city like San Diego.
You weren't kidding, man. That was savage.
What brought this about? What brought all this about?
The Puck Daddy blog asks writers to write roasts of teams as they're eliminated from the playoffs, and so they ask them to be particularly cruel and savage. But that one it goes on much longer after that, and leading up to that, it goes on. The focus of that one in particular was Mike Richards and how he would never be a hero in Los Angeles, even though Philadelphia thought he was the greatest thing ever. So the thrust of it is just LA versus Philadelphia, but that part about Philadelphia fans being an alligator protecting a shrinking watering hole and being disgusting and ugly, because Flyers fans just have a terrible, terrible history of doing terrible things. So anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there.
Hey, this is crazy, but my stupid story with the Plager brothers that nobody even knew is actually somewhat connected, because Bobby Plager says that the year after that big brawl where the Blues were beating up Philadelphia, they were beating up the fans, that they say that initiated the Flyers saying they never wanted to get beat up again, and they became the Broad Street Bullies. That's what they're saying. That's what he told me.
40 years
later,
later,
of the story.
Still eating out off of that 2-year stretch.
Right.
Yeah. Clark.
Yeah. From the Blues perspective, real quick, mentioning the Puck Daddy eulogies. Game Time, I don't think we'll get asked back after theirs a couple years ago against Detroit. No. It was pretty brutal. They had a lot of Konstantinov jokes. And,
no.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
No.
Cringeworthy is the best word.
Oh, that's
so that was Game Time's one big shot and they blew it, you're saying?
Yeah, kind of.
I'm looking forward to seeing the Blackhawks eulogy. Getting ahead of myself a little bit here. We're only up 2-1, but
sure, I want to read
if they knock them out, I'm seeing how good they did with Philly. I'm really looking forward to the Blackhawks one.
I hope there's some line in there about their mascot, how it shouldn't be like a Blackhawk.
Do they even have a mascot?
Well, I'm just saying. I mean, they're not mascot. Their logo, their brand. Their
Oh, you think?
Go the way of the Fighting Sioux.
There you go. So let's get you guys' thoughts on that real quick. Personally, I think it's kind of a little bit ridiculous. All of the stuff about it's the Cleveland Indians. It's Chief Wahoo Head, knock it out. It's offensive. It's the Blackhawks, knock it out. It's offensive. It's the same to me as like saying it's like there's an ESPN guy who wore a T-shirt on one of those shows recently.
Yeah, the Fighting Caucasians.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the Fighting Caucasians, and it took the Cleveland Indians logo and turned it to a white guy, and he had a $sign for eyeballs, and it was pretty good. But I personally think it's overkill with all the politically correctness for saying, don't do it, it's offensive. But I don't see anyone else standing up that has roots there that says this is offending me.
So I made a joke on Twitter, very similar to that. I have a general rule not to fight with people on Twitter because it just doesn't. It's pointless, and
you fight with an idiot, and they bring you down to your level, their level, and beat you with experience.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not fun, right? Like it's just wasted energy and time. But anyway, I fell into a trap, and I was bickering with this Blackhawks fan, and I went for the cheap joke, and I basically said like, "Oh yeah, well your team's racist." That was fine. And he educated me as to why I was wrong. And so ever since then, I have avoided that subject. But I think, I could be wrong, I'm trying to do this on memory, but I think the Blackhawks are actually named after an individual. Chief Blackhawk. And I think the original owner of the team named it after his army unit. They were the Blackhawks, and the army unit was named after a chief. I forget which tribe. I apologize, but so I think they have some sort of tacit approval from a specific Native American community. And it actually is, unlike the Washington Redskins, who claim that it's an honor.
Right.
And
no, sorry, Washington, you're not honoring anybody with that performance on field.
but I think the Blackhawks actually, the name actually is by proxy anyway, by naming it after his military unit, which was named after a warrior. I think it actually is an honorific. So.
Man, that sounds like a lawyer got in on that one. He's like, okay, so let me see if I got this straight. Everybody in our story's dead, right? Oh yeah, they're all dead. Okay, I think this will work out great. Nobody.
But I mean, the fact that it's named after a person, not a slur for a group of people, like
sure.
The Indians, the Braves, the Redskins. There's Joe Brave is not a dude, and Michael Indian is not a right, like a Bobby figure. But Chief Blackhawk was actually a historical figure. So I think that's their justification. Whether or not that explains the logo, I don't know. Sorry, I feel like I brought it down really.
Jeez.
Really
yeah,
bad.
we're all depressed now.
You want me to read some more stuff from Philadelphia?
Yeah, let's get back to that.
Yeah, Nick knows you better do that because I'll start putting out my opinion.
He'll start talking about Brian Elliott and Jake Allen,
strong.
and he's talked about him every show we've had. So
well, can I ask you about Brian Elliott real quick?
We've done so well this episode.
Somebody say Brian Elliott?
No, well, I'm very curious because when the last time we had you on, and we've had this conversation a few times now, we've talked about the Blues' history with goaltending. Are you happy with how they've handled their goaltending so far in the series? I see silent laughter, but
Trouble answered.
He's laughing too hard. He can't even answer
face.
right now.
I can't see your face, but it was so straight. It was so. It was perfect because you've answered your own question. You already know that obviously everyone knows, and I'll just say it then that Elliott has obviously outperformed all of our expectations. What is it? What are the percentages are unreal right now. Only Holtby, I think, has any better numbers than him, and which Brendan would know. What is he? 962 save percentage, 1.26 goals against average, and that doesn't even count all the quality shots the Hawks have been getting off on Elliott. He's played really strong. I don't see him going anywhere. He'll be playing, I think, the rest of the series. But if they lost a couple in a row, like tonight, and then they lost Game 5, and if they wanted to mix it up and throw Allen out there, I'd be confident that Allen would do a good job. So we'll have to see.
I'd have to say that if Elliott falters in the first period, there's a good chance you'll see Allen tonight. But at this point in the series, unless Elliott has two back-to-back bad games, I don't think we'll see Allen for quite a while.
Yeah, I think it's definitely Elliott's crease right now.
He's just so locked in. The way he's moving right now, it's hard. I should know, Brendan. I should describe this correctly, but I told you I'm relatively new at being a goaltender, at least ice hockey. But the way he's moving, he's so square to everything, and the way he's staying so low and so confident and so patient. He's so patient with the best shooters in the world, ripping wrist shots from 10 feet away, and some of the best rookies in the world. I'm just so impressed by his patience, how he will not make the first move, and it's just paying off big time.
Well, so wasn't there a between Allen and Elliott throughout the whole season? There really was not a first and second goalie. You essentially had a rotating goalie staff. Each goalie netted,
Pretty
played
much.
at least 20 games, right? Or
Well,
25 games.
They kept getting injured back and forth, so
Yeah.
Elliott would play for a while and he'd get injured, and Allen would play for a while and he'd get injured. And the times seemed to just keep coinciding that Elliott would come back and Allen would get injured. Allen would come back and Elliott would just get injured the game he comes back in. And it was ridiculous, but they pretty much split the season close to 50-50, I think, by the end of it.
Driven
due to all
by
the injuries.
driven by injury, not driven by preceding the past years. There certainly was the 1A, and 1 and 1A and all that stuff going on, and there was a controversy. Elliott had an 18-game stretch when he was healthy that against some of the better teams in the league, some of the best teams in the league. The Blues went on a real strong run. He played. It wasn't just that they were winning; it was the way he was playing. He had gone up another notch, and I don't see anything changing. I haven't seen anything change. He's been just. Can you think of anything, Nick? Bill? Can you think of any goals or any plays where he didn't just? To me, it's just amazing you can perform at that level for so long.
Yeah,
I mean, Brennan, there's no error. He doesn't make it.
Yeah, there's not.
He's, apart from the 1 or 2 bad games where the team just fell apart in front of him, no, Elliott's been locked in, and it goes back to the, ironically enough, the goalie heritage night they had here when the Canadiens were in town back in January, and he first put on the Cujo replica mask. Ever since he's put that on, he's been just lights out. And it's purely coincidental, but it's amazing. I think the intent with him putting that mask on was he was going to auction it off after a couple of games, and here we are. He's on the best run of his career, and he's not going to give that thing up till this season's done.
He puts that thing in the St. Louis Sports Hall of Fame when he's done with it, man.
Yeah, and he did say that Cujo was one of the guys that he looked up to. He was honored to be able to wear it, and I do think he has a little bit of swagger with those pads, and with the dark pads, and with the mask. I feel, and Brennan, you probably know that there is a little bit. He's already at a high level, mentally and physically, the way he's playing as a pro, playing at such a high level. But there's that little push maybe that comes from confidence he's built with just simply wearing that mask. Do you think that's possible, Brendan?
Are we talking about Holtby or?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm talking about.
I was watching the Beyonce Vine.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry.
We know where your mind's at.
Damn you. No, I got set up.
She told me she'd never talk to me again. I just wanted to share that with you guys. I hope,
Such a touching story.
No.
We were talking about Elliott. I was talking about Elliott, and I was just saying that you think there's a possibility that mask is playing psychologically into his positive feelings about his game because of how he felt about Curtis Joseph, who killed the Hawks back in '95 in a 4-game sweep.
So I'm not really familiar with the design that he ended up having on the mask, but I do know. There are, we're goalies, so the paint that gets put on there is probably symbolic. Who was the goalie that ended up going up to the Oilers? He ended up doing the charity mask auction. It was
Scrivens?
Scrivens, Ben Scrivens, right? It was for essentially mental health awareness, right? But I honestly don't think the pain in the helmet. It's really how the helmet feels on you. As long as you don't get ringers, after a puck hits you square in the helmet, I think I don't know. I'm just not at that elite level like you are. So I just can't tell.
Your mask game.
Yeah, I don't think if I'm about to take a shot from Kane or Taze, how's my design look?
Well, you missed my preface there. I was just saying that certainly his play is what it is, and that's what's driving everything. But then psychologically, sometimes just to push him just a hair higher, this confidence he might have. See, the thing is, the thing about the mask wasn't just the colors and everything, but it was that.
Sorry, real on the question.
No, it was an exact duplicate of more or less. Pretty much a duplicate of what Curtis Joseph wore.
It was a homage he wore. It was on Heritage Night. Is the first night he wore it. And it was supposed to be a one-off
goalie
thing.
Heritage Night. So all the goalies came back for the Blues. Past goalies came back, and he was one of the goalies that he looked up to as a kid. Mm-hmm. So he wears this mask in honor of Curtis Joseph, his great career he had with the Blues, and I don't know. I guess we don't want to beat the dead horse here.
I think there's got to be. I wouldn't be surprised at all if there was something to that. Quick has had essentially the same mask his entire career.
That looks like the night helmet, right?
Yeah, and I love it. I think it's one of the greatest.
Very cool.
So this is the West Coast New Age opinion here.
Well, no, but before Quick, we had Garon and Fizet and La Barbara, and those guys would constantly mix up their masks. And I'm not going to say that I think the long-term deterioration of their play was directly linked to their helmet, but Fizet, for example, used to have this mask, and it was a pharaoh painted. It was in black and silver, like a King Tut mask. If you ever get a chance to Google it, it looked fantastic. And then at some point he changed it to a knight on horseback on one side, and I don't even remember what was on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
But it was asymmetrical, and it was like a landscape arty-farty kind of look, and I didn't like it. And he wasn't the same goalie after he changed his mask. Now he also had some knee injuries and was getting older. So
you know what? I'm just attributing this all to the mask. Let's skip the broken legs here. Those are just excuses. If you look back at the thorough mask.
Well, so there is a thing though with the Kings and with Quick. I remember he actually ended up bending the cage, or a slash I think caught him in the cage. This was just last season, I think, right? And
Sounds familiar.
Backing up on that, he ended up having that broken ass cage. It was bent essentially to a degree where potentially a puck could go in.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not. Maybe it had to get cleared by equipment management or whatever. But from a goalie perspective, you would have thought that cage would have gotten immediately repaired. But I think that's a good example of Quick just saying, no, this is the mask. I'm going to play even without with it being damaged or bent. And that ended up became like a semi big story, I think. I know I saw it on a goalie website on GGSU. Little shout out for that.
I mean, I can just imagine. Like, I've never played goal, so I don't know how the relationship between a goalie and his mask is. But I played defense and forward. And when I first started playing, I bought most of my equipment from a Play It Against Sports that had been next door to a building that had a fire. So there was a fire damage sale. So all the equipment I got was perfectly good, but it all was covered in soot and smelled like campfire. Huh. So my gloves for the first 2 years I played smelled like fire.
So you were on fire, you could
all
say.
the time. Well, no, but when I finally had to get rid of them, I had a hole worn in my palm, and the one glove from the stick and everything. But I didn't want to. When I got my new gloves, they didn't smell right. As crazy as that is, right? Like just something as dumb as how my equipment smelled, because I had gotten used to this smell of burnt leather.
You become accustomed to it.
It took me a while, so I 100% buy the notion that the mask, for whatever reason, is affecting his play.
And hockey players can be superstitious. I mean, you see them like they like to go on streaks, and they don't change anything up if they're on a streak.
Yeah, exactly.
That could be what it's with Elliott and the mask.
Hey Nick, we're coming up on 8:30. I know everybody here is getting ready to watch the Blues
game.
game.
We'll need to wrap this up here in a minute, I think.
Or Beyonce or whatever that is.
Yeah, Beyonce or the Blues game, either or.
So how can we wrap this up?
It's a free night for me, so.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you're off tonight.
Why don't we sing to wrap it up? I always want to do something different.
Well, you can sing. I'm not singing.
We'll put it in a key we can all reach. What should we sing, you guys?
I'm
Come on.
politely declining to sing.
Yeah, this is the wrong crowd for that.
The Blues have asked and sing when the Blues go marching in, because
exactly.
That's what they did in
Actually, you know what? Can I ask you guys? That triggered memory. Can I ask the round table question real quick?
Okay, go ahead.
Sure.
So I'm obsessed with songs written about hockey teams.
Mm-hmm.
The St. Louis Blues have one written by a band called
Head East.
Is that who they are?
I know which one you're talking about. I don't know the band name though.
The name of the song is called Bleed Blue.
That's a very good one.
And I'm curious what you guys think of it as Blues fans, and then I would desperately like to know what Capitals Hill thinks about the Capitals song called "Let's Go Caps" by Darkest. I think is.
Is that the rap? Is that the?
No, it's a hard rock song.
Oh, okay.
Personally, I think the song is pretty cool. The Bleed Blue one. I think it's a cool. It fits the tone of a hockey game perfectly. I feel like I can see it being corny in eyes of most people probably, but I think it's just a kind of a cool song.
Yeah, and that's not Head East. That's a much more recent band. Head East was a minor celebrity in the Midwest in the '80s. So yeah, completely different song. Not my cup of tea, but it works for hockey.
I think it's Brooke something.
That sounds
Rook Royal.
Sounds right.
Rook Royal, that's it.
Yes. Yeah. And Darkest Hour is the group that sings the Cap song, and it just
I'm sorry, I'm cracking up because I'm listening to it.
it's terrible, right?
It's horrible. Yeah.
But I love it. I can't help it.
I mean, it's so terrible. It's Terra good, right? But
Good.
there was another song that was called "Ice on Fire." That was another one that they tried to peddle, maybe a season ago or two. It was like a country song, and DC's not really a country music demographic.
No.
But people ended up replacing ice with ass, so it was ass on fire, ass on fire. So it ended up becoming more comedic, which is fine. Got us through it, but
Got you through the tough years.
yeah.
All right, we'll go ahead and wrap this up here. We'll let everybody go. We'd like to
Cool.
thank you all for coming on. You can check out Brendan Sheridan at capitalshill.com. You can check out Jesse Cohen on All the Kingsmen podcast, the official podcast of the LA Kings, and you can see more of his work on theroyalhalf.com. And you can check out Bill Day Jr. on Let's Go Blues Radio. Our friends over there do a great podcast at letsgoblues.com, I believe.
Yes, let's go blues.com/radio.
All right. Did that cover everybody?
I'm
Did I
good.
miss anybody? All right.
Thanks for coming on the
Oh,
show, you
thanks for
guys.
coming on, everybody.
It's sure nice talking with everybody.
Yep, thanks for having us.
Yeah,
Okay,
thank you guys.
take care and good luck.
Thanks.
Good luck.
You too.
All right.
Let's go
Okay.
Blues.
Let's go Blues.
Go Blues. We're gonna get a Go Kings Go from you or something?
Nah.
No, you're like I'm not going there.
I will say, if it winds up being Sharks versus Blues in the conference final, though, you'll have found a way to get me to root for the Blues.
All right, let's go. Let's go Sharks.
I think that's what I've got my hopeful bracket.
Your hopeful bracket.
So
I've got Blues. Excuse me. I got Blues and Ducks for my conference final.
Not looking so good.
That was good. Who played that?
I
Bill?
do. And I should have played this. Yeah.
That's even better. What? You should have been doing that all night, man. What's
I know.
up?
I didn't realize. I was trying to do like the pirate thing, like the face recognition pirate thing.
Oh, okay.
This wasn't working, so I didn't think the silence was going to work.
Okay, that was good.
There you go.
all right, I'm gonna
All
go
right.
talk
Talk to you guys
We'll
later.
let you guys go.
Okay.
Thanks for coming
See
up,
you
guys.
Yep, later.
Right.